From Lagos, the nation's commercial capital, this is the news at 10, live from Channels Television. Reporting tonight, Amarachi Uba.
Good evening and welcome. Tonight, the President visits prominent monarchs in Kano, Osun and Oyo states. President Goodluck Jonathan says he's striving to tackle security challenges in the country. Prosecutors and defendants argue about alleged jailbreak plans of convicted Niger Delta militant leader Henry Oka in South Africa. Officials of Lafarge Cement in Ogun State say that emissions from their factory has reduced to the barest minimum. And the UN mediator apologizes to the Syrian people as peace talks in Geneva end without progress.
On Business News tonight, the Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry asked the federal government to double up the rehabilitation of the rail system.
And on sports news, Nigerian champions Kano Pillars crash out at the preliminary round of the CAF Champions League for the second consecutive season.
Tonight in Kano State, northwest Nigeria, where the president today kicked off a series of meetings with some traditional rulers in the country. At the meeting with the Emir of Kano, President Goodluck Jonathan said his administration is working round the clock to ensure the safety of lives and property in the country in the midst of daunting security challenges. Dr. Jonathan explained that he was on a private visit to Kano to pay homage to the Emir, His Royal Highness Ado Bayero, who had been ill for a while. The president, who arrived at the Emir's palace at about 12:15 p.m., expressed his gratitude to the Emir for the encouragement he continues to receive from him, promising to continue to work for the unity of the country. The Emir prayed for him and commended the development plans of the administration and the efforts to ensure that the country remains indivisible.
The president alights at the Aminu Kano International Airport. Some government officials, a few sons and daughters of Kano State, led by the deputy governor, were on hand to welcome him. The deputy governor had told Channels Television that it was important that the president visited the Emir, who has been indisposed since the last Salah holiday.
It's not a political gathering.
Okay.
It's a visit to pay homage, to pay respect to somebody who has been sick. I think it's a very good development.
The convoy made straight to the Emir's palace, where some of the subjects were already lined up to usher in the august visitor. This is one president who reversed traditional institutions, and that was played out in his interaction with the Emir. The Emir responded through an interpreter.
We are aging in Nigeria. This country is one country. And it is the wish of His Highness to see that the country is being run in such a way that every citizen will feel that he is a Nigerian and he is living in a stable and Nigerian.
Some of the prominent sons of Kano who were present to welcome the president included the central bank governor.
We're very pleased and honored to receive His Excellency. He had earlier sent his Vice President to see His Highness when he came back, and the VP was also here during the Golden Jubilee. So we're happy to receive him on behalf of the people of Kano, and we thank him for the honor done to His Highness.
This visit may not have come with great pomp and pageantry, but the people of Kano say they are happy with the president for the honor he has done to the emir. They continue to pray for the peaceful coexistence of the country, which is what the president has continued to uphold. Chukwuma Onekusi, Channels Television News.
Straight from the emir of Kano's palace, the president jetted off to Lagos en route Ife in Osun State and Oyo State, where he paid a private visit to prominent monarchs. On arrival at the Ibadan airport in the Oyo State capital, President Jonathan was received by the state governor, Abiola Ajimobi, and members of the governor's cabinet. Also at the airport to receive the president were top PDP members in that state. At the palace of the Alaafin of Oyo, Oba Lamidi Adeyemi III, the monarch and the Oba in council received the president, both of whom later had a short private meeting in the palace. From Nigeria, where the president has promised the security of lives and property of Nigerians, to South Africa, where authorities say they're taking measures to prevent any escape by MEND leader Henry Oka and 4 others from their correctional facility. Consequently, Mr. Oka and other inmates have been downgraded from level A inmate to level C and moved to another facility pending the conclusion of investigations into the allegation of jailbreak by the inmates. Our correspondent in South Africa, Betty Dibia, reports on the new developments and the implication for Henry Oka.
3 times Henry Oka has been moved since his sentencing in March last year, from Sun City in Johannesburg to Coastad Prison in KwaZulu-Natal to Leeuwkop in Johannesburg and now CMAX in Pretoria.
Obtained crime intelligence to the fact that there was an attempt to escape. There was a conspiracy to escape or a planned escape. For your information, we can confirm that in fact some damage to property has been.
I'm actually quite shocked this thing has come this far. I've got 2 affidavits from 2 prison inmates, signed affidavits, who in the affidavits claim that they were forced to give false information about my client, and so we are dealing with that. But as far as the prison break is concerned, there is no such thing.
Mr. Oka, who was sentenced to jail in South Africa in March 2013 on 13 counts of terrorism, got leave to appeal in November last year, and his lawyer says his focus now is to get an appeal date and not breaking out of jail.
All Henry is interested in is that he must be treated with human dignity. He must be allowed the rights and privileges which are granted him in the Correctional Services Act.
2 bombing incidents in Warri and Abuja in Nigeria in 2010, which left 12 people dead, landed Henry Oka in jail. He maintains his trial was not fair, as his own witnesses were not heard in court, but the presiding judge, Niels Claassen, found him guilty. And now it's watch and wait time as this added case of alleged jailbreak attempt is investigated and concluded, and this may take a long time. Betty Dibia, Channels Television News.
Back in the country, a public hearing on the activities of the cement giant Lafarge Cement PLC over the emission of dust into the air and other issues related to its operations has been held at the Ogun State House of Assembly in Abeokuta, the state capital. The meeting was attended by members of the House Committee on Environment, members of the host communities, the labor union, traditional rulers from the area, and the management team of the cement company. Reacting to this development, Chairman, Ogun State House Committee on Environment, Mr. Ayo Olubori, has however challenged the company and others to be more alive to their responsibilities. The meeting
meeting was meant to be a public hearing on the activities of Lafarge Cement Company and its operation in Pakpa area of Iwekure local government area of Ogun State. But this did not happen as the conveners decided to hold the session behind closed doors.
I want to stand on that principle of the journalism to say from now, all external press should please excuse us for some things, leaving only in-house recorders.
Done with the private session and after a closed-door meeting, the committee chairman goes ahead with a session with waiting journalists.
The day channels aired the thing that we have written a letter to WAPCO asking them to put certain things in place. And after that, the news on channels, he personally as commissioner went back to WAPCO and raised these issues with them, that they has given them certain things to comply with.
Not all that transpired behind closed doors is revealed to the newsmen, but the chairman after the meeting let it out that a committee which includes members of the host communities has been set up to monitor and report the company's activities.
The deadline they give to WAPCO to regularize the emission is I think the day before yesterday, and when they got there, they said they should give them 24 hours for the machine to start fully so that they can measure the emission.
Back to the company's facility, and spokesmen say that the rate of emission is reduced to the barest minimum.
We already had an arrangement to do our annual shutdown, and the shutdown has been completed, and that's why you see that the stack is quite clean. But like I said, the standards, we stick to the standards. We always operate below the international standard, and we measure it regularly. And wherever we start seeing deviation, we stop and rectify the fault.
The company has also promised to always comply with minimum standards required by law in its operations.
In part two after the break, the problem of street begging in Kaduna State takes center stage. That's in a moment.
This is the news at 10, live from Channels Television. Reporting to